Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today I'm going to tell you fragrances that are overrated and underrated. And if you've never seen this series or any episode of the series, basically I look in Fragrantica on a line of fragrance that I have and I just go over it and say if they're overrated or underrated. So last episode there was like half or more than half, no, a little bit less than half of the line that I was doing that was only one brand, and then the other half, more than half, was only again that brand, and I haven't went over it at all because most of them are obviously underrated because it's an indie brand, and even the worst fragrance ever from an indie brand will be underrated because no one knows it. Well, no one. But still, I'm gonna go with this brand, and there will be another brand I'm gonna talk with through this video. And the brand it's PK Perfume, and PK Perfume I would say as a whole, as a brand, it's underrated. What he's doing, the guy behind that is Paul Kyler, basically create molecules to make his perfume. He makes a lot of unique stuff, a lot of nice stuff. You see the quality in the ingredients. I would say that some of his fragrances are a bit more easy to understand and to appreciate, and some are really bold and really powerful. But still, as a brand, it's underrated because it's indie and it's a nice brand. I wanted to talk about it a little bit and not just skip through the whole bunch of this fragrance that I got. Let's go with the fragrance for today. First fragrance of the list, it's Armani Code by Giorgio Armani, and I would say it's underrated. It's not like heavily underrated because a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people say it's nice, but it's underrated because when you think about Giorgio Armani, the first thing you'll think about is probably gonna be Acqua di Gio. Everyone thinks about Acqua di Gio because, well, it's super popular. But for me, the Acqua di Gio line is literally the worst line they have. I'm saying it's bad. It's just everything else is better, more interesting, especially Code line. Armani Code is just beautiful. And I would say within its own line also it's underrated because people will say it's either I think it's Colonia it's called, trying not to say Aqua, but it's first thing that come to my mind just to tell you how much you think about Acqua di Gio when you talk about Giorgio Armani. But most people will say that Code Cologne and Code Absolute are the best, but I'm gonna tell you the original is really the best. It's beautiful and it's a really nice way to combine leather, tobacco, and the amber seed note or ingredient into a fragrance. Personally, I think it's the best fragrance they made. I haven't tried all of them, but from those I tried, it's the best they made. And at the same time, leather and tobacco are my favorite notes, so it's a bit easy to make it the better. Hérode by Parfum de Marly. This fragrance is extremely overrated. It's nice, it smells good, but it's not crazy good. It's just nice. It doesn't project well. I feel it reminds me a lot of London by Burberry, which is basically a tenth of the price or less. I'm not saying that Parfum de Marly makes bad fragrance. They make great fragrance. It's just that this one is way overrated than people are talking about. It's not as good that they talk about. The smell is nice, but everything else is not there. Fougère Royale by Houbigant, and this one is extremely, ultimately underrated. I think from all the fragrance I'm gonna talk in this video, the previous video, and the future video of underrated, overrated, I think it's the number one underrated fragrance. It smells extremely good. Projection is crazy. The longevity is crazy. It changed through time. It smells like cinnamon at one point. It will smells like flowers at another point. It's really a great fragrance, and it's so good that fragrance that are fougère are called fougère because of that fragrance. And still, more than 100 years, maybe 100, almost 150 years later, they still sell this fragrance. I mean, it more than stand the test of time. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's a nice fragrance. I mean, it's expensive, but you still need to try this one. If you like fragrance, if you like collecting, you need to try this one. Really, it shows history of fragrance, and it shows where it all started, all those fougères and fragrance, like, you know, like Paco Rabanne pour Homme, Azzaro pour Homme, and all those 70s fragrance, and even fragrance that are more modern, like Le Male by Yves Saint Laurent. They're all fougères, and they are all fragrance style that started and originated with this one. Next one, I would go with Kais Perfume, and the one I'm having there, Kais Perfume, I got little bust time where I got some fragrance by that brand, but this one is Homme Sauvage. I'd say Homme Sauvage is an underrated. I think it's one of those I hear the most about that brand, but also it's underrated because it's indie. It's a nice brand. It's mostly gourmand. I don't like to say that, but you know, it's like smell that you feel you would eat, and some of them you really feel you would eat this. It's so good. If you like gourmand fragrance, it's a nice brand. You should check that brand out, Kais Perfume. And Homme Sauvage is nice. I mean, it's underrated because it's not known, and I would say it's still a nice brand. Le Male Le Parfum, I would say it's underrated. People are talking more about Ultramel this time, but at the same time, it's getting discontinued, so I get the hype. But really, it smells nice. It's a great reformulation of the original one. It's more modern, but it still get the same feel. I remember it's the first fragrance that I really like did some research on internet to figure out which one I want to buy, that I went to stores and trying. But now I feel that Le Male is dated and it's not nice as it was before. And this fragrance just bring that style to life. Bring it back. It's pretty much Le Male, but how it would make today, which is basically what it is, and it's nice. It's a great fragrance. I like it. Next one, it's again a brand. I've got two fragrances here. It's Majalis and White Leather by Zoa Aroma. It's been so long I haven't been wearing this one, so I don't remember which one is which. But one of the two I remember is super good. The other one I remember is super bad. I've tried like 6 fragrances from them. I would say they're inconsistent. They're mostly like a cologne house. The colognes are nice. They're good. They're cheap. They're Canadian, which is a good thing because I'm Canadian. I'll try only the one that are alcohol based. I know they have some that are oil based, and I'm not really too much into oil based fragrance. And it's an inconsistent brand. It's underrated again because it's indie. I would say, depending on which fragrance, it could be either underrated, properly rated, or could be clone. Next two fragrances are again fragrance by Kais Perfume, J and Vanille de Cèdre. Again, that brand is underrated because it's indie house. Next one, it's Song Homme by Alfred Song, and this fragrance, it's underrated. I wouldn't say it smells good. I cannot say it smells good because it's not a linear fragrance. At point it smells nice. At point it smells like the inside of a urinal, like literally. So it's not nice, it's not boring, but it's extremely complex. If you like complex fragrance, definitely you'd like this fragrance. It's crazy to analyze. I got it, it's been a couple months, and I'm wearing it once in a while. Maybe now with the heat I might wear it a bit less, but I haven't analyzed it in a way that I feel confident to really talk about it and analyze it, because it's such a complex fragrance. And it's a cheap fragrance, so if you like complex fragrance, really, it's underrated. You should take a look at it. If you like old school fragrance, it's not that crazy, so it will be overrated. Next one, Red by Giorgio Beverly Hills, or Red for Men, I should say. This one is really underrated. It's beautiful fragrance. Everyone that has it will tell you it's a beautiful fragrance. For me, it reminds me a lot of Drakkar Noir, but I would say that it doesn't have that soapiness, and it's better blended. I would say it's better than Drakkar Noir. If you enjoy Drakkar Noir, you would definitely love this fragrance. If you like also old school fragrance, it's a beautiful one to have. It smells nice. Also, it's cheap, and it's really underrated. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If it's the case, well, like and share. If there's any fragrance that you feel they are underrated or overrated, share about it in the comment. So, thanks for watching. See you soon.